Good morning and welcome to our UU Holton Sunday Service online edition from the Unitarian Parlor in Holton, Maine. We are celebrating our Thanksgiving service today, and we hope that you and your family have a meaningful holiday no matter where you might be this year during these COVID challenging times. And we want to thank you for joining us and spending part of your day right here. We light the chalice in gratitude today. May we not take this life for granted, its beauty, its brevity, its challenges, and its rewards. May our hearts be open to it all in this Thanksgiving season. Well, it's great to have the UU Holton Unitunes singers here today for service music for our Thanksgiving service. And Reverend Dale Holden is our pianist today, and our prelude is Ode to Thanksgiving, Themes of Beethoven. For our moment of centering silence this morning, let us pause and create space for appreciation and thanksgiving. We do not take this life for granted. Each breath and each beat of our heart is life in us. Thankful are we in this moment in time. An invocation on this day of Thanksgiving. The blessings of God are bountiful and generous to all of creation and to the children of the earth. As the skies hold the clouds, and the clouds contain both sunshine and showers, may we hold both the blessings of this life as well as its challenges. We enter this service today to bring to remembrance our blessedness. We join together on this day as one people in this shared space, as generations have done before us, and we continue in thankfulness, in gratitude, in appreciation. Blessed are we all on this day. As is our custom, let us light candles, real and virtual, for the joys and concerns in our lives this Thanksgiving season. Well, the COVID numbers keep going up as holidays commence. Close to 200,000 new cases per day in the United States, and close to 2,000 deaths per day in the United States. So we pray for all of our families during this Thanksgiving season, for those who have lost family members this year, as we move forward into this season. And I brought in a candle of gratitude for this morning, and we're going to light this for things that we are thankful and grateful in our lives. And just say a few things from the group here this morning.
I have been thankful that all my necessary surgeries got done successfully before COVID arrived on the scene.
I'm very glad to have close family members close by and able to spend time with them through this trying time.
I'm grateful for music, the healing and sustaining. And I'm grateful that you guys let me come and sing.
I'm grateful she said yes, and the wedding's still proceeding as planned.
I'm grateful for all our family members who are at a great distance, that we can connect through social media, and that so far everyone has been able to remain safe.
I'm grateful for friends near and far, friends online that I've gotten, who have become friends over the past years, who seem even closer now that we can't get together with anybody.
And a candle for hot gravy. More about that later on in the service. The title is It's Time to Float the Gravy Boat. So. And this is a silent candle for any unspoken prayers, people on your heart during the holidays, and concerns that you carry. Let's take just a moment to consider the things that are important in our lives and the people who are important to us. May our hearts be as one on this day. Let us carry each thought and concern expressed in our heart, and may the light of love and compassion transform suffering into non-suffering and ease the difficulties of life. We radiate love and the light that we are. Amen, and blessed be. Well, the UU Holton Unitunes are going to do 2 numbers, familiar hymns, Come Ye Thankful People, and we sing now together. During this past year, Linda has not only been cooking for the two of us, which some would say is a full-time job right there, she has also been cooking for both her mom and my mom. Meals on wheels for our mom, we call it. Linda will make a large casserole and a pot of soup, portion size the meals in Tupperware containers, and then put them in the freezer and rotate stock as she goes. So one day, Linda says to pull out a soup from the freezer and we'll have it for supper. There are no labels on the containers, so I grab what looks like pureed split pea soup, and I set it on the counter to thaw. That night, as we're eating our soup, I'm almost finished with my first bowl. Suddenly I stop. I look over at Linda and I say, "Do you know what? I don't think this is split pea soup. It's gravy." It was thick, smooth, and full of marvelous flavor. It went great with a big chunk of bread and a couple of pickles, but it was not soup. It was gravy. Since then, we started to label our containers. With Thanksgiving and then Christmas not far behind, we are officially entering gravy season, which is one of my favorite times of the year. Here's an article I found in the New York Times titled, "Good Gravy Makes a Good Thanksgiving," written by Julia Moskin. Michelle Addis, food director of the Ethel Walker School in Simsbury, Connecticut, will produce gravy to serve 400 people at the school's annual pre-Thanksgiving banquet. 8 gallons should do it, she says. Although she could buy shortcuts like gravy base or turkey broth concentrate, she has made the stock ahead of time and will combine it with a roux and the pan drippings once the turkeys come out of the oven. "I think you have to make the real thing," she says. "Gravy's critical. It has to be flavorful and rich to enhance everything else. Gravy is like the salt shaker on the Thanksgiving table." For less experienced cooks, the recipe for gravy can include a side of anxiety. For instance, what do you do with that little white bag of giblets and bird parts that come inside the frozen turkey? "I can cook 30 different pasta dishes, but I have never seen those things before," said Chelsea Burens, a semi-vegetarian in San Rafael, California, who made her first Thanksgiving dinner last year. Ms. Burens threw away the innards and used canned chicken broth instead. Gravy anxiety can gnaw away at any cook's Thanksgiving, especially mastering a good roux. "I cook my roux for a full hour," said Tina Mesh, a cook in St. Mary Parish in Louisiana, who says she counts the time in glasses of red wine consumed. 1 glass of wine every 20 minutes. And family tensions regarding the gravy oftentimes cannot be avoided. "My sister-in-law used to grab the spoon right out of my hand," said Susan Leahay, a cook in Manchester, New Hampshire. Her sister-in-law was from Wisconsin, and she had to make her famous milk gravy. So there you have it. Thanksgiving tensions can't be dissolved with one single recipe, but make plenty of gravy, make it well, and it will help make everything else on the table and on that day that much better. Good gravy makes a good Thanksgiving. The year 2020 is not what we expected it would be. Who would have written a plot line for the year that includes a global pandemic, racial unrest and protest on American streets, a record-breaking voter turnout for the U.S. presidential election last week, and the price of gasoline briefly dropping below $2 a gallon in Houlton, Maine. There's been both good and bad in the year 2020. It just feels like we've had more of the latter. This has been a lean year, many having to creatively overhaul the household budget to make ends meet. It's been a year of caution. Not knowing what might come next makes all of us wary. We've shown restraint, tried to be less impulsive, allowing more times for things to play out in their own time instead of ours. So with all that in mind, I think this is the year to make Thanksgiving an even more necessary day to observe than we have in the past. This is a year to take one day out of 2020 and just splurge a little bit. Take a well-earned break from all the extra effort you have put into 2020 and splurge just for a moment. Think what that would be. Splurge. Splurge on simply being here alive on this amazing planet right now. Splurge on having beautiful people in your life who love you and you love them. Splurge on the simple and wonderful things in this world that sustain and delight days without end. And I can't think of a better way to splurge on Thanksgiving than to indulge with gravy. I know this is not the healthiest practice, but for one day, especially this year, cover everything in gravy on your plate. It'll make everything taste better. The title of today's Thanksgiving service is "It's Time to Float the Gravy Boat." What I'm advocating is one day of excessive appreciation and extended enjoyment of whatever it is that makes you feel alive and blessed. A Thanksgiving of this life we are living right now and sharing together. Sometimes you have to skim off the top of a pot with your big spoon, where all the fats and the flavors are, and savor it just for a moment before you move on with the rest of your day and the rest of this year. In this most difficult of years, we need to make sure we float the gravy boat. Here is a 3-part outline with no comments by Dave. Point 1, celebrate. Point 2, recharge your inner battery. And 3, increase your appreciation and gratitude of everything this Thanksgiving. That is floating your gravy boat. Well, I brought in a piece of fancy china for the altar this morning. This is from Linda's grandmother, Nana Joy, and this comes out twice a year at our house for Thanksgiving dinner and Christmas, and it's a Bristol pattern crown decal from England. And the glazing is cracked a little bit, but none of that matters. The gravy in this tastes amazing. When we started brining our turkey a few years back, we noticed it had 2 direct effects on the gravy. Since there was more moisture in the bird, it yielded more drippings for the gravy. And secondly, it was much saltier. Again, one more strike against the healthiness of too much gravy in your diet. But the brining does add a significant boost of even more flavor in the gravy boat, as if we needed it. The New York Times article said gravy is the salt shaker on the Thanksgiving table. In the Sermon on the Mount, Jesus said that as children of God, we are the salt of the earth. But if the salt has lost its saltiness, what good is that? We're encouraged to be good salt. Say and do and influence the world through your actions and your being. Use the salt. Don't be afraid of the salt. For one day of the year, on this Thanksgiving Day, don't hold back. It's time to float the gravy boat. Salt, fat, flour, and a lot of flavor. Savor everything you can of this oh so short life. Splurge. Take a delight in it all and share in its abundance in both good times and hard. We are sustained by the nurturance of nature and its blessings, a thanksgiving of our heart that expresses itself as love, compassion, and a joy of living. A blessed Thanksgiving to you all this year. And now may the peace of God, the understanding of spirit, and the joy of living accompany us on this day as we leave this place. May our hearts be full of appreciation and generosity in this blessed Thanksgiving season. Again, it's been great having Dale with us today. The Postlude is a holiday classic that I think you'll recognize. Thank you, Dale. And thank you all for joining us today for today's UU Holton Sunday service. Like and subscribe on our YouTube channel. Practice kindness, keep your attitude positive, and look out for those who are having a difficult time. Have a good week and a good Thanksgiving, everyone. We'll see you next week.